Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion video. Today I'm once again joined by the one, the only, the other half of the dynamic duo, MJ over at MJTV. Man, why don't you say hello to everyone listening?
I've missed this intro so much. It feels like we barely record anymore. And this is way before even Super ended, but it just feels like we haven't recorded as much as we used to. So I missed that intro. Thank you for having me back on the Real to Real channel. Appreciate it.
No worries, man. I completely agree. It's been way too long since our very last video, and it's been way too long since having as many videos as we used to do at the very beginning. So guys, I hope you guys are ready for this discussion. Today, you guys saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. We are talking about Ultra Instinct, Goku, Dragon Ball Super, and the future of Dragon Ball in general. So we all saw the ending of Dragon Ball Super. MJ and I did a 2-hour-long stream about the dang thing, talking about all the emotional impact of that and everything else like that. You can find it on the channel. I wanted to talk about one thing that they said at the very beginning of that episode, or at least the very end, and kind of what they showed from the very beginning. Goku with Ultra Instinct, we all saw it. He got to the strongest level that could potentially be reached by any mortal that we know of from the entire series. He was above Jiren a couple episodes before he lost his power. Then he lost his power. You know, the whole Ultra Instinct was too much for him to bear. He lost all of it, but then him and Frieza and everyone ended up winning the tournament anyway. And then, at the very end of the final episode, Goku was fighting Vegeta, and he's like, hey, why don't you use that Ultra Instinct thing? And Goku goes, look, I can't do it anymore. It was just me putting my body to the limit, breaking my limits. I pulled it out at the very last moment when everything else was on the line. There was so much at stake, and I had to use it. And that's why it actually happened, or at least that was his thought, his opinion, his theory about why he was able to use it. I'm wondering, does that kind of break Goku's character to have this unbelievable, transformation technique in the back of his pocket no matter what? Like, is there ever going to be a time where the fandom, at the very least, doesn't sit there and go, why is Goku so exhausted, so burnt out at this potential moment of recreation, of success or anything else like that, and he's not pulling out Ultra Instinct? This guy should turn into super perfect Ultra Instinct or whatever and completely wreck the person who's beating him down at this point. I don't care if he's stronger than Goku at this point, or stronger than a God of Destruction, or anyone else that we've seen that Goku could actually match at the ending of Dragon Ball Super. If Goku does not have this transformation or this technique in the back pocket, he can just pull it out whenever he wants to. Does that kind of hurt the story going forward? Like, are we always going to be sitting here saying, why doesn't Goku just bring out Ultra Instinct? Or why doesn't the circumstance call for Ultra Instinct if Goku absolutely has to win in this particular moment? MJ, what are your thoughts?
It's kind of funny because I was thinking the same thing way before even 131 and 130. I was thinking, okay, he unlocked Ultra Instinct Omen, you know what I mean? It came out when he fell into the Genki Dama and he tried to survive, he resisted it, right? I thought to myself, okay, so does that mean in any life or death situation will he be able to do this in the future? Because once it was lost in the moment and then he regained it again at 116, it very much I thought to myself, okay, is every single time he's put like in a bad spot, is he not going to be able to awaken it? What calls for that moment? You know, what's going to trigger it? Because I mean, you would think maybe, okay, I was going to bring up the Goku Black and Zamasu scene, but then again, maybe because his body wasn't strong enough, it didn't do it. But you would think in a situation where you got stabbed in the freaking chest and you have Zamasu telling you how he killed your family, you would think that would be a trigger moment for UI. You know what I mean? But that obviously wasn't. Here, he was pulling it out each and every time he was about to get ringed out. So to me, it's kind of funny. Maybe the stakes, I don't know. It's weird. What's going to call for it? What's going to be the trigger for it? Obviously, we know they took it away from him to depower him. I would suspect, right? I think that's really the only reason I could think of, is that they depowered him and then they left it at that. But now we're going to be asking every single time he's in a corner, is this going to come out? And if it doesn't, why? What's like, is it just plot? Like, are you supposed to just go with that? Is that the writers are just calling for which moment is a trigger happy moment? You know what I mean? Or a trigger moment, excuse me. It's very interesting. Now, again, like I'm saying, this doesn't really hinder my thoughts on Ultra Instinct as a whole or its state of being or what it is. I think it's very cool. That's just going to be a head scratcher, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing how they handle this, because I would assume, because, you know, considering that this, you know, movie is a continuation of this Super, and especially this arc, it makes me wonder. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to see it in the movie, I would think, at least in the last few moments, you know, in the last few moments of the big fight, you know, at least I would think.
I completely disagree. I don't think we're seeing this form again for a very long time. And I think one of the reasons that is because the Tournament of Power, the way it was set up, and I know this sounds really crazy for people who've watched this show and haven't really paid attention to the way that time works from this show, is the whole 48-minute fight type of thing is kind of original to Dragon Ball. I mean, Goku usually doesn't. I don't remember the last time Goku actually got himself outside of fighting with Master Roshi in the 21st tournament, where he got into a 48+ minute fight with anyone, where he got so unbelievably exhausted, but so much was on the line that he couldn't possibly, you know, let himself down or let everyone else down. He had to keep fighting to the point where his body kind of shut down and just kind of pulled out the Ultra Instinct form to keep fighting. That, I think that, at least in terms of story, at least in terms of character, and all of the stuff that they could throw at us, was why Ultra Instinct made sense at the time, and why it made sense to end up in Super that way with the fight with Jiren. It's never going to be as big as what we thought it was going to be. You know, like, Goku is probably never going to get this form again. I could imagine them giving Goku another form or another transformation the same way they gave Vegeta another transformation or something on top of it. Super Saiyan Blue 2, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2. Like, whatever it might be, I can imagine them trying to sell more toys that way than giving Goku the white form again. And this being the one form that everyone's like, we want to see again. We want this to be the main Goku form. But they'll save it for a new series or some kind of new battle in a new movie or something like that. But in the new movie or anything else, I don't see it ever happening again for those reasons.
I just got a gut feeling we're going to see it. I'm imagining this brutal Saiyan just throwing around Goku in his blue form and then, like, just stomping him out, you know what I mean? And then Vegeta's new form not being enough, or Vegeta's blue form, excuse me, we're not too sure if we'll even see that form again. But just their regular blue forms, you know? Them just getting completely stomped out in their blue forms, and I can just imagine it. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I want to hear Clash of Gods in theaters, bro. Dun, dun. I just want to hear that. But no, yeah, I do see your point. Funny enough, though, it makes me wonder then, like, it goes back to that question, what's going to be a trigger moment? Or maybe there will never be a trigger moment, but you're right. Maybe we'll never see it again. They could go the route where maybe he just learns it in his base form and then stacks the forms on top of it. We've talked about how the angels on, numerous videos on both your channel and my channel, that the angels can do it without transforming, you know what I mean? And then even Beerus, to some extent, seems to be able to do mastery of self movement, at least a unmastered version of it. You know, he did it a bit in the manga, you know, and who knows, maybe they'll go that route. Maybe this form was exclusive to Goku for the Tournament of Power, obviously for toys and marketing, but, you know, an exclusive phenomenon that just happened, you know what I mean? We'll probably never know why, but it just happened, and maybe he can tap into it without having to go through that state of being and that change of appearance, you know what I mean? I mean, that's just a way they could do it. We've talked about it before, you know?
I really feel like it's just exclusive for Dragon Ball Super. My problem with it is I think it makes Goku too powerful in the overall scope of things. I like the idea when you think about it as this is Goku's new form, this is his new state of being, even if he just absorbed it into himself, and they explain that in the movie or some other future series where he has the Ultra Instinct in him or whatever the power actually gave him, the same way that Dragon Ball Super said or the movie even said about the Super Saiyan God transformation, where yes, this form has kind of absorbed into you. You're strong as the form, or at least strong enough to actually go against Beerus in a very small amount of his power, as it would come to seem. I really think that they will bring it back if they really need to, but it's something that they're going to keep in their back pocket. And I think that that's going to make a lot of fans really mad as we move into the future, because this is something everyone, movie, TV show, anything, we're going to be like, why isn't Goku turning into Ultra Instinct? Like, aren't the stakes high enough now? This guy is threatening to kill everybody or something, because it's always the same thing. Like, he will lose everything if he doesn't win, or if he doesn't fight this person. Shouldn't that bring out the exact same amount of power that he had against Jiren? And I think that they're going to keep it away from us. And I think that a lot of people will get mad about that. Is like, you were able to do it then, why not now? What's the difference? And we'll be debating on our YouTube channels or anywhere else on the internet, like, why isn't he bringing this out? It should be possible. And I have to say, one of the problems with that is probably the difference between what Toriyama's notes are and all the other iterations of Super thus far being completely different. We already know that the Tournament of Power from the anime and the manga are completely different. I can't wait to see how they utilize Goku in the Ultra Instinct transformation and see how it's different throughout that. I can only imagine him getting it once at the very end of the manga and not 3 times like he did in the anime.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle it. Like, is that a part of the notes that he has to get pushed, you know what I mean, to this? Or is it going to be something that goes along with just something that Toriyama creates, you know, like a situation? We don't know. Like, it's very interesting, and I think that's funny about the manga and the anime, is that we kind of get a different interpretation, and then we can kind of come back and look at it, maybe combine the two or analyze both versions, both mediums, you know what I mean, and see how they did it. But the idea that he can't use it now is very interesting to me, and how they'll use it moving forward. I see the point, and I think it will probably actually be better if it's not brought back again, you know? But at the same time, I still have a feeling that we're going to see it again. I just don't know what will trigger it. And if it doesn't happen, then why is it not being triggered? I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think this is where the job comes in for the actual writers for the show, to see what they actually put together, or what Toriyama puts together, because he is writing the entire screenplay for this film. And then obviously, we know sooner or later Dragon Ball's coming back on the air, you know, as a TV show. So it'll be interesting to see how they put their heads together to kind of, you know, go with this new route, you know, that when Goku gets pushed in the corner, he gets white hair. So
can I say, and I know that this is something that they'll never do, but I just wanted to paint a picture right here, right quick. I really think that one of the things Dragon Ball Super can do with the anime and the story that they were trying to tell with the Tournament of Power, and throughout this whole Battle of Gods, Gods of Destruction, higher beings, and different tiers of power with the Gods of Destruction, the Angels, the Zenos, like all of them, you know? I think that they should keep this form with Goku, and then they should build on top of it. In fact, they should make it very clear that this form is in fact a technique, or something that Goku can just kind of adapt into his body, where he doesn't need the white hair the same way that Whis and all the other gods of, or all the other angels have the same technique apparently, but they don't have the same aura, and they don't have the same kind of spectacle of using it. It just becomes part of who he is, and he builds on top of it, be it with a Super Saiyan God, or something else. And they allow Goku to actually be stronger than a God of Destruction. That way, if they bring back more movies, or they bring back another television show or something, they basically reset the entire playing field, and Goku and Vegeta, if he gets the same type of power up, are actually stronger than Beerus and all the other Gods of Destruction, as you and I have talked before, and everything's level. The whole playing field is level. Maybe the Angels won't get involved, but we don't have to sit there and wonder, hey, why isn't Beerus getting involved? Why isn't Champa getting involved? Why are they just sitting on the sidelines this entire time? Well, they're sitting on the sidelines because they can't do anything about it, because Goku and Vegeta are actually stronger than them, and it doesn't actually make the entire fan base mad, because we know that Goku and Vegeta aren't actually stronger than the Angels, and they're not stronger than the Zenos, so there still is that hierarchy, but these guys have found a new level of power with something that we've never seen before. That's something that I would really like to see in the future.
I mean, we've talked about it before. We did a whole video on it. I think that plays into what we've talked about in the movie, you know, how we kind of hope that maybe perhaps, you know, in the beginning of the film, Beerus gets mollywopped or gets beat up by whoever this new villain is or antagonist or Saiyan, and that kind of sets the tone, you know what I mean? It kind of gives us an idea. Again, I'm not trying to bring power scale in here, but it kind of gives us an idea, a general idea of who's who, where's what, and who ranks in what, you know what I mean? And it kind of sets the tension for the movie, because this time we won't have a situation where when Beerus shows up, we get a Beerus-sama, you know what I mean? Completely just scared, you know, shitless. So hopefully they kind of handle that in this film, at least in my opinion. I think that'd be kind of cool. Plus, you know, seeing Beerus fight again would be cool, you know?
I completely agree. I think that would be the best thing about all of this, would be seeing the Gods of Destruction actually give a fight, like a real fight where they lose. I think a lot of fans would go crazy for it, because, you know, regardless of whether or not they win or lose, it would be a good fight and something people would really want to, like, wrap their teeth around, honestly. So I would really like to see that. Anyway, guys, I hope everyone enjoyed the conversation. Go down to the description section below and share your thoughts and opinions on whether or not the Ultra Instinct form for Goku, and whether or not he can pull it out again at any real given time whenever the writers say it's appropriate, or whether he's going to get it again at all. Kind of makes the rest of the series inconsequential, because it's just a level of power that puts him leagues and bounds above almost everyone else that he'll probably face in the entire rest of the series. And even if they do make it a mainstay with his power, or figure out a way around it, they might not be able to explain away taking down all the other characters just to justify that transformation and or technique, whatever you want to justify it as. So make sure to tell your opinions on that in the comment section below. At the same time, make sure to go down to the description section below and click that link to go subscribe to MJ. Guy makes some really awesome Dragon Ball and anime content. You're not going to want to miss any of it. At the same time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Share this video out to all your friends. It's been a fantastic day. I hope everyone is having a good one. It's been real.